Dear children, let us back to our history class. In the last class, we have discussed a lot about the participation of people in non-cooperation movement. That is one of the most movement practiced and made it success by Gandhiji in the beginning. So, where we studied about the participation of people from different walk of life and their different intentions also in order to be a part of that non-cooperation movement. But anyhow, in 1922, as he heard about one important violent activities from the side of Indians, so from the side of Satyagrahis in the name of Chauri Chaura incident, Gandhiji was decided to withdraw that non-cooperation movement. And he believed that Indians were not at all better trained to be patient whenever they are getting any chances to be provoked. So Gandhiji believed only after giving more physical and mental training for people to be a Satyagrahi alone can be possible to conduct another important programs in India. Anyway, there were no any programs for Indians after the withdrawal of non-cooperation movement in 1922. So, were all the people participated in non-cooperation movement were a little bit dissatisfied because they hadn't any programs presently to be a part of nationalism. So, during the time from 1922 to 1930 or 1928, lots of different changes that happened in India. Such one important change that happened during those time was the formation of a new party within the framework of Congress called Swarajist Party. Founders of Swarajist Party were the well-known international leaders called Motilal Nehru and C.R. Das or Chittaranjan Das. Both these people were well-known and also one of the great leaders of Indian National Congress. But why they had a different idea other than the Congress under Gandhiji had is that in 1919, under the government of Britain in India, British government introduced a new law or a new act called Government of India Act of 1919 or popularly known as Montford Reform. As per this Montford reform, a new reform that the Britishers introduced in India that it is better to conduct elections to provincial government of India and where more numbers of Indian representatives can be included. But when non-cooperation movement started, Gandhiji advised Indians to keep a distance from the elections conducted by government of Britain here in India. That's why when non-cooperation movement also came to an end, some people from Indian National Congress started to think differently other than what Gandhiji believed. They believed that it is better to be a member elected by the people to British Council in India in order to know whatever new suggestions or new discussions are going to take by the Britishers, and if required, it is possible by the elected members to oppose. So, entering into election is the idea of Swaraj Party. To keep a distance from all the activities of British were the ideas of non-cooperation movement under Gandhi. So, within the Congress itself, different ideas were started to form. So, during those time, another problem also happened across the world was called a great economic depression happened during those time after First World War. That means everywhere, no any scope for economic development, especially that affected the peasants or the agricultural sector. That means prices for the food grains were came into an extreme lower stage and its exportation also came into decline. That affected the common life of the peasants and they were unable to sell their product out and to pay the revenue or the taxes to the British. So total problems were inside our country. And at the time in Britain also a new government under Tory party came into effect. And that Tory government decided to send a statutory commission to India in order to inquire whatever problems are there and whatever solutions can be recommended. So, in 1928, under the leadership of Sir John Simon, a commission started to came to India. And the most important responsibility of that commission is to inquire about the political condition of India and to identify whether the reforms suggested by 1919 Act is practical or practicing here. So anyway, the problem for that commission was that all the members in that Simon Commission were Britishers. All-white commission came to India to inquire about Indian problem without having no any single Indian member. That's why when in 1928, when the Simon Commission reached in India, they were welcomed by a slogan called Simon Go Back. And that slogan were declared and also announced by all parties in India, including Indian National Congress and Muslim League. Every important parties of India participated in that protest against arrival of Simon. So, in order to please all these demonstrators, the then Viceroy of India during that time, that is Lord Irwin, announced a pleasing method. An offer was given to the British Indians during that time, that is called Dominion status will be provided for India. Dominion status means a kind of freedom will be given to India under the full supervision of Britishers. That means considering as a parent and a child. Parent will give freedom for children but with a limited stage alone. Such a type of freedom will be given to Indians. That was one offer. And another offer also was that it will arrange a meeting of all the important political party members in London to discuss and to solve the problems that is India facing. That meeting is known as round table conferences. So, two important recommendations or offers given by Simon to India or Simon Commission during that time to Indian people, that Dominion status and arrangement for a round table conferences. But these offers were not satisfactory to the Indians, especially to Indian National Congress, because Indian National Congress and National Freedom Fighters are fighting against the Britishers not to get a kind of dominion status or to be a part of somebody. They need full freedom. So instead of all these continuous protests going on throughout India, one important Congress or a meeting was arranged. That is an annual session of Indian National Congress in 1929 at Lahore under the presidency of Jawaharlal Nehru, declared or announced that India need Poorna Swaraj or complete independence. There is no compromise. Indians do not need any status of dominion status, but India required complete independence or Poorna Swaraj. When Britishers levied tax on salt, Gandhiji believed that it is the best opportunity to start another fight against the Britishers. So, in January 31st, Gandhiji wrote a letter to the then Viceroy of India, that is Lord Irwin, demanding him to get some more important concessions and freedom for India. The most important one was to cancel the salt tax, and many others were there, including release of many of the national leaders, those who are in jail by the Britishers. So the problem that put forward by the salt tax was that Britishers considered it production or manufacturing of salt is monopoly for the British. That means they alone can produce salt in India, and the others, that is Indians, need to purchase it from the market by paying tax, including tax. So it was really a problem for Indians, because easily available salt also need to be paid with or need to be given a little bit higher prices. So Gandhiji believed it is the best chance for getting support of all sections of people. But anyway, there was no any reply from the side of Lord Irwin. So it was considered as an ultimatum by Gandhiji with a particular date. Within that particular date, if there is no reply from the side of British, Gandhiji announced that he will start civil disobedience movement. That means rules of Britishers are going to break or to violate. Never we are going to obey any of the rules. So he considered it is the best chance to disobey the rule made by the Britishers in against the manufacturing of salt. So, as there was no reply from the side of Britishers, Gandhiji started his extreme famous march to violate the rules made by British. And he started his salt march in 1930, 12th March, from his Sabarmati ashram in Gujarat. And around 240 miles were covered within 24 days. When he started his journey, only 72 or 78 members participated, followed him. But on the way, hearing about such a march against British rule was started by Gandhiji. Thousands joined from different part of their walk. And when he reached on Dandi beach of Gujarat in 1930, 6th April, it was a crowd of around thousands and thousands, and in front of them all, the rule was broken or violated by Gandhiji by making or boiling that sea water, and he manufactured salt. And that incident is known as Salt March, or it is also called Dandi March. It is considered as the first incident in the series of civil disobedience movement, where he disobeyed and violated the rule made by British. And while hearing this news, Britishers came to that area and Gandhiji was arrested. And it was continued again under many different leaders in different parts of India. Not only in Dandi, in Tamil Nadu or in Kerala or in Andhra Pradesh, etc. Many such numbers of marches against Britishers were conducted under different leaders in different regions of India. Along with this Dandi March in Gujarat, as we know, told that lots of problems were happened across India, not only violating this salt rule, lots other rules, that means forested areas were restricted for the tribal people, so they they violated the rule and entered into the forest area, and many of the British symbols, just like their post offices or their police stations, etc., were also started to destroy by the British. And one another such incident that happened along all this civil disobedience movement was the arrest of the important leader from the northwestern frontier part of India. He is also known as the Frontier Gandhi, and his real name is Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. He was arrested in the northwestern frontier part, where the people started to fight against the Britishers. And when Gandhiji again was arrested in the due course of time, people across different part of India started to make every kind of violences. So again Gandhiji was forced to withdraw this program, that is civil disobedience movement also. Wherever violence is increased, Gandhiji believed it is better to stop all such activities by the people against Britishers, because violences were not supported by Gandhiji. So in March 5th, 1931, Gandhiji started to talk with Irwin, that is Lord Irwin of British. And between them, that is Gandhiji and Irwin, started to sign over a pact or an agreement called Gandhi-Irwin Pact, by which Gandhiji was decided to withdraw or to cancel that civil disobedience movement. And during those time itself, the round table conferences were already started from 1930 onwards. So the first round table conference was boycotted by Indian National Congress. No representatives from Indian National Congress attended the first round table conferences. But after the Gandhi-Irwin Pact, Gandhiji decided to attend the second round table conference in 1931. Believing the guarantees given by Lord Irwin, Gandhiji attended the second round table conference in London. When he reached there, lots of negotiations and discussions were going on, but he was not satisfied with any, so he returned back. But when he reached back, no any permissions or no any guarantees given by Lord Irwin were satisfied or fulfilled. Almost all that national freedom fighters were in jail, and the salt tax was not cancelled. So again Gandhiji believed that it is better to continue or to relaunch the civil disobedience movement once again. So in 1932, he relaunched the civil disobedience once again. People had their own reasons not to give their maximum support for Gandhiji in the civil disobedience movement for the next time. We have to discuss it in detail in the next class. So let us wind up our today's class now. Thank you. Have a nice day.